Well, tonight we are remembering a rock and roll icon. Legendary concert promoter Mike Belkin passed away. He and his brother Jules founded Belkin Production in 1965. Their World Series of Rock summer concerts drew in huge crowds and big names before Belkin Productions was sold to Live Nation in 2001. Mike also managed Michael Stanley, Donnie Iris, the James Gang, and other artists during his career. We caught up tonight with Carlo Wolf, who has known Belkin for decades and helped him write his memoir.
I want them to remember the impact he had, whether you measure it by the World Series of Rock, which was the kind of extravaganza I don't think, it rarely exists anymore. He in a way, invented the big rock show. He should be known, he should be remembered for his showmanship, his flair, his love of art. He had great taste, and his warmth.
Well, Wolf says Belkin's personal favorite band was The Who. Funeral arrangements for Mike Belkin have not been announced.